Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Uta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatan Vitang Tang Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Shahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitangscha Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet. So section 10, Bhakavadha Parva. This Parva is about the killing of a demon named Baka. So chapter 145. Janamejaya said, O best of those who are twice born, what did the Mahabharata Pandavas, the sons of Kunti, do after going to Ekachakra? Vaishampayana said, after going to Ekachakra, the Mahabharata Pandavas, the sons of Kunti, lived in a Brahmin's house for a short while. O king of the world, they then begged for alms. They saw many beautiful woods, distant parts of the earth, countries, rivers and lakes. Because of their manly qualities, they became the favorites of the citizens. Every night they handed over their alms to Kunti. She divided it into parts, and each separately ate his share. The valorous ones, the scorchers of foes, and their mother ate half. The immensely powerful Bhima ate the other half entirely. O best of the Bharata lineage, O king, those great-souled ones lived there like that, and a great deal of time passed. One day, when the bulls of the Bharata lineage had gone out begging, Bhimasena was at home with Pritha, Kunti, for company. O descendant of the Bharata lineage, then Kunti heard a great uproar, and in the Brahmin's house, terrible sounds of lamentation. O king, because of her compassion and goodness, the lady could not bear the sight of that weeping and lamenting. Feeling sorry, the virtuous Pritha then spoke to Bhima in compassionate words. O son, unknown to the sons of Dhritarashtra, we have lived happily in this Brahmin's house, respected and treated well by him. O son, I have always thought about what can be good for the Brahmin and what can be do to please him, as those who happily live in others' houses should. He is truly a man who returns what is received, and such an act is never destroyed. One should do more good than others do to one. Without a doubt, this Brahmana has fallen into some grief. If we can be of any help to him, that will be a good deed. Bhima said, let us find out what the distress is and how it has arisen. Having learnt it, I shall try to remove it, no matter how difficult it will be. O ruler of the world, when those two were thus conversing, they heard a pitiful wail from the Brahmin and his wife. Like Surabhi dashes at her tethered calf, Kunti hurried towards the inner quarters of the great-souled Brahmana. She saw there the Brahmana, his wife, his sons, and his daughter, their faces distorted with grief. The Brahmana said, cursed by this worldly life, without meaning, and like the substance of fire. Its root is unhappiness, slavery to others, and it is based on great sorrow. To live means to suffer great misery. To live means to suffer great fever. Without a doubt, those who live have to choose between evils. The Atman may be one, but one has to serve Dharma, Artha, and Kama. The simultaneous pursuit of these leads to great misery. Some say that salvation is the greatest object, but it can never be reached. The acquisition of artha is hell, its desire creates misery, great unhappiness for those who desire wealth, greater for those who have acquired it. There is attachment to acquired wealth, and when it is lost, unhappiness is greater. I do not see any way of escaping from this danger unless I run away with my wife and son to a healthier place. O Brahmini, I have told you before that we should go to the place that is safe, but you didn't listen to my words then, O foolish woman. When I repeatedly asked, you said, I was born here, I grew old here, this is my father's house. Your father is now dead, and your old mother died a long time ago. Your relatives are also dead. Why was there the desire to live here? You didn't listen to my words, and as a result of affection towards your relatives, we are now faced with the terrible misery that comes from losing a relative. How can I bear it? Perhaps the time has come for my own death. I cannot live like a cruel one after abandoning one of my own relatives. Always giving, you have been my companion in all virtuous acts. You are like a mother to me. The gods gave you to me as a friend. You have been my chief support. My father and mother gave you to me as a partner in my duties as a householder. I chose you in accordance with the law. I married you in accordance with the mantras. You were born into a good family. You have a good nature. You are the mother of my children. You have always been faithful to me. You are chaste and have never harmed anyone. You have always been constant in your vows. I cannot give up my wife in order to save my own life. How can I sacrifice my daughter? She is still a child, not yet an adult, and without any signs of coming of age. The great souled Creator gave her to me in trust so that I could find her a husband. Through her, together with my ancestors, I will be able to attain worlds reached by those who have sons through their daughters. How can I give up a daughter I have fathered myself? Some men think that a father loves a son more than a daughter. Not I. I love them equally. How can I give up this innocent girl? On her are based my continuity and the worlds that bring eternal bliss. If I sacrifice myself and go to the other world, I will still have to repent. Abandoned by me, they will not be able to live. To give up any one of these will be a cruel act. Con- um, Footnote: the wife, the son, or the daughter. Condemned by those who are learned. But if I sacrifice myself, they will also die without me. Great distress has befallen me. I do not know how to escape. I am cursed. What path will I and my relatives follow? It is better that I should die with all of them. I cannot live. 146. The Brahmini said, his wife, you must not grieve like a common person. For someone who is as learned as you, this is not the time to grieve. All men must certainly come to an end. If something is certain, one should not grieve over it. A man desires a wife, a son, and a daughter for his own sake. Therefore, since you have great learning, abandon this grief. I shall go there myself. It is the supreme and eternal duty of women in this world that they should give up their lives for the welfare of their husbands. Done by me, such an act will bring you happiness. It will also bring me eternal fame in this world and the hereafter. What I have told you is the highest Dharma. Through this, it will perceptibly bring you Artha and Dharma. You have already obtained from me the purpose for which a man acquires a wife, a daughter, and a son. Through this I have been freed from the debt I owe you. You are capable of supporting and protecting your children. I cannot protect and support the children as you can. You have given me all that I desire and protected me from all danger. If I am abandoned by you, how can these young children and I survive? How can an unprotected widow with 2 children support them both while treading the path of virtue? How can I protect our daughter when she is wooed by arrogant and selfish suitors who are unworthy of an alliance with you? Like birds grabbing a lump of meat thrown on the ground, all men crave women without their husbands. O best of the twice-born, solicited by evil-hearted ones, I might waver and might not be able to stick to the path of virtue. How can I ensure that this only daughter of the lineage, young and innocent, walks along the path trodden by her forefathers? How can I teach this young boy, fatherless and without a protector, every desirable quality so as to make him as learned in virtue as you? When I am in this state, those who are unworthy will overcome me and demand this unprotected girl like Sudras craving to hear the Vedas. If I refuse to give her endowed with all qualities and with your blood, they may forcibly carry her away like crows after sacrificial offerings. When they see a son who is unlike you and daughter under the control of those who are unworthy, I will be despised in the worlds. O Brahmana, I do not know what will happen to me under the control of the arrogant. But there is no doubt that I shall die. There is no doubt that these young children, deprived of you and of me, will perish like fish when water dries up. There is no doubt that without you, all 3 of us will perish in this way. Therefore, you should sacrifice me. O Brahmana, those who are learned in Dharma have said that the supreme salvation of women is to go on their last journey before their husbands and not to remain under the protection of their sons. For you, I am ready to give up this son and this daughter, my relatives and my life. To be always engaged in what pleases her husband is a greater duty for a woman than sacrifices, austerities, vows, and donation of alms. Thus, the act I wish to perform is in conformity with the supreme Dharma. It is for the welfare of you and of the lineage. The virtuous say that objects of desire, children, possessions, and friends, even the wife, are cherished to rescue oneself in a time of distress. O you who have extended your lineage, the wise ones have said that if all one's relations are placed on one side of the scale, they do not equal oneself on the other side. My Lord, thus do through me what has to be done. Save yourself by sacrificing me. Give me permission and protect my children. In deciding the path of virtue for men, those who are learned in Dharma have said that women should never be killed and that Rakshasas also know Dharma. Therefore, he may not kill me. It is certain that he will kill a man. It is doubtful that he will kill a woman. O you who are learned in Dharma, therefore you should let me go. I have enjoyed my life. I have enjoyed great happiness. I have trodden the path of Dharma. Through you I have borne beloved children. I will not grieve if I have to die. I have borne a son and I have grown old. I have always desired to do that which pleases you. Counting all my blessings, I have arrived at my decision. O revered one, you can take another wife after you have sacrificed me. You will then again be able to tread the path of Dharma. O virtuous man, to have more than one wife is not a sin among men, but it is a grave sin for a woman to have another husband after the first. Having considered all this, and realizing that your self-sacrifice must be condemned, today, without any delay, save yourself, your lineage, and these 2 children through me. Vaishampayana said, O descendant of the Bharata lineage, on hearing her words, her husband embraced her. Stricken with grief, he shed copious tears along with his wife. Bit more?
Yeah.
4:7. Vaishampayana said, when the daughter heard these words of her parents, who were extremely sorrowful, she was overcome with grief and spoke to them. Why are you lamenting so grievously? Why are you weeping as if you have no one to protect you? Now listen to what I have to say. On hearing my words, do what is proper. There is no doubt that Dharma dictates that I have to be sacrificed at some time. Since I have to be abandoned in any case, abandon me now and save everyone through me alone. That is the reason men desire children, so that they can be saved. That time has come. Use me as a boat and save yourselves. A child saves everywhere in this world and in the next. It is because a child saves everywhere that the learned know a child by the name of Putra. Footnote. There is a hell, Naraka named Punnama. Those who do not have offspring are destined to go there. It is because a child saves the ancestors from going to Punnama that the name Putra is given. You probably all knew that. My grandfathers have always desired to have a daughter's son through me. Now I shall myself save them by saving my father's life. My brother is very young. There is no doubt that he will soon perish after you have left this world. When my father has gone to heaven and my younger brother has perished, the funeral cakes offered to the ancestors will come to an end, and that act will displease them. Having been abandoned by my father, my mother, and my brother, I shall descend from misery to misery and will finally perish in great distress. There is no doubt that if you are healthy and can save yourself, my mother and my child brother, and our lineage, the practice of offering funeral cakes will continue. The son is one's own self. The wife is one's friend. The daughter is the cause of suffering. Save yourself from that cause of suffering. Set me on the path of Dharma. O Father, without you, I will be an unprotected and wretched girl, going everywhere and whenever, always miserable. Therefore, I shall save my lineage, and I shall acquire the merit that this difficult act brings. O best of the twice-born, if you abandon me and go there, I will be greatly oppressed. Therefore be kind to me, O good Father. Abandon me, who am to be abandoned eventually. Save yourself for my sake, for the sake of Dharma, and for the sake of your lineage. There should not be any delay in performing the inevitable. By offering them water, you will do that which is good. What can be more painful to us than you ascending to heaven and our roaming like dogs begging food from others? But if you are saved from this calamity with your relatives and are healthy, I shall be very happy in the immortal world. When they heard her piteous lamentations, all three, the father, the mother, and the daughter, began to weep. Then, on seeing all of them cry, the young son uttered these mumbling words, his eyes wide open. "O father, O mother, and you too, my O sister, do not cry." Saying this, he smilingly came to each of them. Picking up a blade of grass, he again said happily, "I will kill the man-eating Rakshasa with this." Though they were overcome with grief, hearing the mumbling words of the child, they were cheered up. Knowing that this was the right time, Kunti went to them and thus spoke, like ambrosia reviving the dead. 148. Kunti said, I wish to learn exactly from you the reason for this grief. On learning it, I will remove the cause from you, if it can be removed. The Brahmana said, O lady, blessed with austerities, what you have said is worthy of righteous ones, but removal of this grief is beyond humans. Not far from this town lives a Rakshasa named Baka. That immensely powerful one is the lord of this town and this country. That evil-minded man-eater, chief among Asuras, and with the power of Rakshasas, rules over and protects this town, this country, and this region sustained through human flesh. Thus, protected by him, we have no fear from any encirclement by enemies or any living beings. But his stipend has been fixed to a supply of food, a cartload of rice, 2 buffaloes, and a human who takes these to him. One after another, all the people provide him with food. After intervals of many years, this difficult task comes to a particular man, and it is impossible to escape. If men ever try to escape their turn, the Rakshasa eats them up with their wives and children. The king lives in a place known as Vetrakiya Griha, but he makes no efforts to free his subjects from this danger for good. We deserve all this because we live in continued harassment in the kingdom of a weak and incompetent king. Brahmanas are free to live as they wish on anyone's land. They base themselves on their qualities and, like birds, freely go where they will. It is said that first one should find a king, then a wife, and then riches. By acquiring all three, one can maintain one's relatives and one's sons. But in acquiring these three, I have chosen the wrong order. Therefore, having fallen into this danger, I am suffering great grief. It is now my turn, and it will destroy my family. I shall have to provide food and a man as stipend. I don't have the riches to purchase a man, nor am I able to give up someone who is dear to me. I do not see any means of saving myself from that Rakshasa. I am immersed in this great ocean of grief from which no escape seems possible. Today I will go to that Rakshasa with my entire family so that the evil one can eat all of us together. Anyone else want to have a go?
I'll carry on now. That was amazing. Oh my God, what a story.
Yeah.
Ooh. Kunti said, do not grieve because of this feat. Can you hear me? Let me just put my thing in.
No,
Can you hear me?
no.
No,
I
Do you
can
not?
hear you, but it's like as if it's almost like you're whispering.
really?
It's
Yeah, it's very
fear.
away. It's like away from the microphone. You're not close enough to the mic.
Hello, hello, hello. Does that sound better?
Hello, I can hear you, but it's like
There's
sometimes you're very
something going on with the
light.
microphone then. Let me take this out. Let's see what it's like if I take it out. How is that now?
Not much different, but maybe it's a little bit better.
I
Maybe
don't know what's happening with the. This is what happens with technology. One day I'm plugging in the fucking microphone, and why doesn't it
We're
work?
recording.
I know. Well, what the, what am I meant to do? Tell me what to do. Shall I speak with a microphone or without one? Tell me.
just speak as you're doing now. It's okay.
Okay, okay, because I can't tell what you're hearing. Okay, let me just go on. I've got to go back on again. Where's Maturidas? Okay, not my video. Sorry, here I am. I will start again. I hope you can all hear it. Let me just bloody bring everything closer. I've been trying to do everything. Like right. Okay. Kunti said, can you hear it?
Yeah.
Do not grieve because of this fear. I see a means through which you can escape from that Rakshasa. You have an only son who is a child and an only daughter who is engaged in austerities. It does not seem right to me that they, you, or your wife should go there. O Brahmana, I have 5 sons. One of them will go taking on your behalf the offerings to that evil Rakshasa. The Brahmana said, in order to live, I can never do this. For the sake of saving my own life, I cannot cause the death of a Brahmana and a guest. Even those who are of low birth and sinful refuse to do this. One should sacrifice oneself and one's children for the sake of a Brahmana. I consider this principle to be the best of me, and I would like to follow it. Between the death of the Brahmana and my own, it seems to me that the latter is better. There is no salvation from the great sin of killing a Brahmana. Even if I do it without the right frame of mind, it is better for me to sacrifice myself. O fortunate lady, in sacrificing myself, I will not commit the crime of self-destruction, because there is no sin if someone else does the killing. But if I deliberately kill a Brahmana, I will commit a cruel and vile act from which there is no means of atonement. The learned have said that the sacrifice of someone who has come to your house or has sought your protection, or the killing of a supplicant, are cruel and sinful deeds. Great-souled ones, learned in principles that should be followed at times of distress. Great-souled ones, learned in principles that should be followed at times of distress, have earlier said that one should never commit cruel deeds capable of censure. It's best for me that I should perish today with my wife than that I should ever cause the killing of a Brahmana. Wow, this is righteous Dharma, isn't it? Kunti said, O Brahmana, it is also my firm view that Brahmanas must always be protected. If I had 100 sons, I would not love any one of them less. But this Rakshasa will not be able to kill my son. My son is full of energy, valorous, and has knowledge of the mantras. He will deliver all that food to the Rakshasas, but it is my firm conviction that he will be able to save himself. Earlier, I have myself seen that powerful and gigantic Rakshasas have fought with that brave one and have been killed one after another. O Brahmana, but do not reveal this to anyone through any means, for people curious and wishing to learn will trouble my sons. The learned have said that if my son parts with this knowledge without the permission of his preceptor, the receiver will not gain from it. Vaishampayana said, hearing these words of Purita Kunti, the Brahmana and his wife were very happy and agreed to her words, which were like ambrosia. Then Kunti and the Brahmana went to Anila's son and said, do this, so shall it be, was his reply. So Anila's son is Bhima?
Speak up, man. Half of the stuff for you, it gets very low and you start
Well, I'm
whispering.
speaking as
Just try to
bloody
speak up.
loud as speaking as loud as I
Thank
can.
you.
Do you want me to speak like
Thank you.
this?
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
We are recording. Yes, Anila is another name for Vayu.
Okay. Maybe you should put your headphones in, Prana, so I don't have to shout. Okay, sorry. I can only do with this bloody technology. I'm not going to go and sound like an asshole. Okay.
Sorry.
Vaishampayana said, okay, I'll get, where the bloody hell is the microphone without the microphone? Oh, Vaishampayana said, hearing these words of Prita, the Brahmana and his wife were very happy and agreed to her words, which were like ambrosia. And then Kanti and the Brahmana went to Anila's son and said, do this, so shall it be, was his reply. Can you hear or not? Okay.
Yeah.
Vaishampayana said, O descendant of the Bharata lineage, Bhima said that he would do it before all the Pandavas returned there after collecting their arms. Looking at his appearance, Pandu's son Yudhisthira, guessing and sitting down with his mother alone and privately, asked her, what is the exploit that the immensely powerful Bhima wishes to undertake? Is it something he wishes to do on his own? or is it something you have commanded? Kunti replied, on my instructions, the Scorcher of Enemies will perform this great task for the sake of the Brahmana and in order to save this town. Yudhisthira said, what have you done in your extreme rashness? This is a difficult task. The learned have certainly never praised the sacrifice of one's own son. Why do you wish to sacrifice your own son for the sake of someone else's? You have performed an act of abandoning your son. This is not approved by the worlds and by the Vedas. Through the strength of his arms, all of us sleep in peace and hope to recover the kingdom that the evil ones have deprived us of. It is because of his infinite powers that Duryodhana, Shakuni, and all the others spend sleepless nights of worry. Through his valor, we escaped from the burning of the house of the Lak and other dangers when Purochana was killed. It is through dependence on his valor that we believe that we have already acquired this earth and its riches and have killed Dhritarashtra's sons. What came to your mind that you deliberately decided to sacrifice him? Have you lost your senses and your intelligence because of the miseries? Kunti said, Oh, Yudhisthira, you need not lament over Rikrodara. I did not take my decision because of the weakness of my intelligence, O son. We have lived happily in the house of this Brahmana, O son. I wish to regard this as our compensation. A man is true to the extent he recognizes a good deed. Having witnessed Bhima's valor in the house of Lak and in the killing of Hidimba, I have great confidence in Rikrodara. The strength in Bhima's arms is as much as that in 10,000 elephants. It is because of this that he was able to carry us, as heavy as elephants, from Varanabhata. There has been no one, nor will there be anyone as strong as Rikrodara. In battle, he is the equal of the best, the wielder of the Vajra himself. Earlier, as soon as he was born, he fell from my lap on a mountain. Although the hardness of his body, through the hardness of his body, he shattered the rock into pieces. Oh, Pandava, from that day I have known Bhima's strength, and remembering it, I wish to repay the Brahmana. I have not done this from folly, delusion, or desire for gain. I have consciously desired to perform this act because it is what Dharma requires. Oh, Yudhisthira, two objectives will be, Two objectives will be attained in this way. We will repay the Brahmana for his lodging, us, and we will obtain great religious merit. I have heard that a Kshatriya who helps a Brahmana in any way obtains the fortunate worlds after death. A Kshatriya who saves the life of one another Kshatriya attains great fame in this world and the next. A Kshatriya who helps a Vaishya on this earth is certainly loved by the subjects in all the worlds. A king who frees a Shudra who comes to him for protection is reborn in a wealthy family in his next life and is revered by other kings. O descendant of the Kuru lineage, earlier the illustrious and extremely wise Lord Vyas told me this. That is why I want to act in this way. Yudhisthira said, O mother, what you have intelligently decided to do, driven by compassion for the poor Brahmana, is indeed right. It is certain that Bhima will kill that man-eater and return alive, but the Brahmana must carefully be told that he must restrain himself so that the inhabitants of this town do not find out. Can I? Are you ready?
Yeah.
There you go. God, it's brilliant, this
Okay.
stuff.
151. Vaishampayana said, Thereafter, when night had passed, Pandava Bhimasen took the food with him and left for the place where the man-eater lived. Reaching the forest where the Rakshasa lived, the immensely strong Pandava began to eat the food himself and called out to the Rakshasa by name. Then, on hearing Bhimasen's words, the Rakshasa was greatly enraged and came to where Bhima was. His body was huge and his speed was swift, as if he was breaking up the ground. His forehead was furrowed into 3 lines and he bit his lips. On seeing Bhima-Sen eating the food, the Rakshasa dilated his eyes and angrily said, "Who are you, stupid one, who dares to eat these offerings meant for me? That, too, in front of my own eyes. Do you wish to go to the land of the dead?" O descendant of the Bharat lineage, on hearing this, Bhima-Sen began to laugh. Ignoring the Rakshasa, he turned his head away and continued to eat. Uttering a terrible roar and raising both arms high, the man-eater rushed at Bhima-Sen with the intention of killing him. Even then, Pandava Vrikodara, the killer of enemy warriors, ignored the Rakshasa. Casting only a glance, he went on eating. Greatly enraged, the Rakshasa struck a mighty blow with both his hands on the back of Kunti's son. Though Bhima was powerfully struck by those arms, he did not even look up and continued to eat. Thereupon, the Rakshasa became even more enraged. He uprooted a tree and powerfully dashed at Bhima so as to strike him again. Bhima, bull among men and immensely strong, slowly finished eating all the food. He washed himself and then cheerfully stood up to fight. O descendant of the Bharata lineage, the valorous Bhima laughingly caught the tree that had been angrily hurled in his left hand. Then that powerful one hurled many other trees at Bhima-Sen, and the Pandava Bhima also hurled many at him. O great king, the terrible and great fight between Baka and the Pandava with trees went on, denuding the forest of its trees. Announcing his name, Baka dashed at the Pandava and grasped the immensely powerful Bhima-Sen in both his arms. Bhima-Sen also grasped the Rakshasa in his great arms and began to violently drag the swift and strong one. Dragged by Bhima and also dragging the Pandava, the man-eater was gradually overcome by great fatigue. The earth shook because of their violent movements. Giant trees that stood there were shattered into pieces. O bull among the Bharata lineage, on seeing the Rakshasa fading away, Vrikodara pressed him down on the ground and began to strike him with his arms. Powerfully pushing the middle of his back down with one knee, the Pandava grabbed his neck with his right hand and his loincloth with the left, and then ripped the Rakshasa into two with great force.
Wow.
O ruler of the earth, uttering a terrible roar, the fearsome Rakshasa was torn into two by Bhima and vomited blood. 152. O king, frightened by that noise, the Rakshasa's relatives and their attendants came out of their houses. On seeing them terrified and bereft of reason, the powerful Bhima, supreme among those who wield arms, pacified them and made them a promise. Maybe made them a promise.
No,
Or
made them.
no. Yeah, I see. You shall never do violence to humans here. Those who perform violence will quickly die the same way. O descendant of the Bharat lineage, on hearing his words, the Rakshasas gave the desired promise and accepted the terms. O descendant of the Bharata lineage, from that day, the Rakshasas there were friendly and behaved peacefully when they were sighted in town by the inhabitants of that town. Then, unobserved by anyone, Bhima took the dead man-eater and placed him at one of the gates. He then went away. After killing him, Bhima returned to the Brahmana's house and described in detail to the king all that had happened. The king is Yudhishthir. The next morning, the inhabitants of the town came out and saw the Rakshasa lying dead on the ground, his body wet with blood, horrible and spread out, as huge as the peak of a mountain. They went to Ekachakra and spread the news throughout the city. O king, in their thousands, the citizens went with their wives, old people, and the young to see Baka. They were astonished at the sight of this superhuman feat. O ruler of the earth, they gave offerings of gratitude to the gods. Then they began to calculate whose turn it had been the previous day to supply food. Learning that it was the Brahmana's turn, they went to him and questioned him. Thus repeatedly asked, the bull among Brahmanas then protected the Pandavas, but told the citizens everything else. When I was ordered to supply the food, I was weeping with my family, when a great-souled Brahmana, learned in the mantras, saw me. He asked me about the cause and learnt about the calamity that had befallen this city. That best among Brahmanas then reassured us and smilingly comforted us. He said that he would himself carry the food to the evil-hearted one, and that we should not be frightened for his sake. After taking the food, he set out for the forest where Baka lived. For the welfare of the worlds, he must have been the one who performed this deed. Thereupon, all the astonished and delighted Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras had a feast in honor of the Brahman. All the inhabitants of the country came to the city to witness this extraordinary miracle. Pritha's sons went on living there. May I continue?
I think so, please.
So, section 11, Chaitrarata Parva. This Parva is named after Chitrarat, a Gandharv, whose stories figure in this section. 153. Janamejaya said, O Brahman, after killing the demon named Baka, what did the Pandavas, those tigers among men, do? Vaishampayana said, O king, after killing the demon named Baka, they lived in the house of that Brahman, engaging themselves in studies about the supreme Brahman. A few days later, Brahmana, who was rigid in the practice of his vows, came to live in that Brahmana's house. That learned bull among Brahmanas, always hospitable towards guests, duly worshipped him and gave him a place to live in his house. Then those bulls among men, the Pandavas and Kunti, requested the Brahmana to tell them about his wonderful experiences. He told them about many countries, places of pilgrimage, rivers, many kings, and many wonderful cities. Oh, Janamejaya, when these accounts were over, the Brahmana told them about the wonderful Svayamvara of Yajnasena's daughter in the land of Panchala, and the births of Drishtadumna and Shikandi, and also that of Krishna, which is a reference to Draupadi. That Krishna is Draupadi, who was born from Drupada's great sacrifice, and not from any woman's womb. Hearing of these wonderful events that had happened in this world, those bulls among men asked the great-souled one to narrate these accounts in greater detail. How did Drupada's son Drishtadumna's birth take place from the fire? How did Krishna's wonderful birth take place from the middle of the altar? How did he, Drishtadumna, learn the usage of all weapons from the great archer Drona? How did the great friendship between those two break up? O king, having been thus asked by those bulls among men, the Brahmana recounted in detail the story of Draupadi's birth. May I go on one more and then I'll pass it on? Is that all right?
Yeah, carry on. It's wonderful.
154. The Brahmana said, at the source of the Ganga, there lived a rishi of great austerities. He was always rigid in his vows, and he was extremely wise. His name was Bharadvaja. One day, the rishi went to the Ganga to have his bath, and saw there the Apsara Gritachi, who had arrived before him, and now stood there, having finished her bath. Then a wind arose from the river bank and removed the clothing from her body. Seeing her nude, the rishi was afflicted with desire. He had been celibate since boyhood. As soon as his mind felt desire, his semen dropped, and the rishi collected it in a wooden cup. It's just A drone, and footnote on here, a drona was used to carry water and can also be translated as a vessel rather than cup. From that was born a son, who became the learned Drona, and who studied all the Vedas and the Vedangas. Bharadvaja had a king as his friend. His name was Prishata, and he had a son named Drupada. Parshata, that bull among Kshatriyas, always used to go to the hermitage and play and study with Drona. After Prishata died, which is Parshata's father, Drupada became the king. Drona heard that Rama, this is Parashuram, wanted to give away all his riches. When Rama was leaving for the forest, Bharadvaja's son went to him and said, "O bull among Brahmanas, I am Drona and I have come to you for some riches." Rama said, "O Brahmana, now I have only my body left. Ask for either my body or my weapons." Drona said, "O illustrious one, give me all your weapons, together with the knowledge of releasing them and recalling them." The descendant of Bhrigu agreed and gave those to him. On receiving them, Drona concluded that he had become successful. On obtaining from Ram that supreme weapon known as Brahmastra, Drona became extremely happy and became supreme among men. Thereupon, Bharadvaja's powerful son went to Drupad, a tiger among men, and said, "Know me to be your friend." Drupad said, "A man without learning cannot be a friend to one who is learned, nor one without chariots to one who has chariots, nor one who is not a king to one who is a king. Why do you desire our old friendship?" Turning his mind against the king of Panchala, the intelligent one went to Nagashraya, the capital of the Kurus. The intelligent one is referring to Drona. Thereupon, Bhishma took a lot of riches with him and offered his grandsons to the wise Drona as students. With the intention of humiliating Drupad, Drona assembled all his students and told them, "O unblemished ones, when you have become skilled in the use of all weapons, as a preceptor's fee, you must promise that you will give me what I wish for." When the Pandavas became skilled in the use of all weapons and became successful in their labor, Drona spoke to them and reminded them about the preceptor's fee. "Parshata Drupada is the king in Chhatravati. Take his kingdom away from him and give it to me quickly." Then Pandu's 5 sons defeated Drupada in battle. Taking him and his advisors prisoners, they showed them to Drona. Drona said, "O king of men, I again seek your friendship. One who is not a king cannot be a friend to one who is a king. O Yajnasena, therefore I will divide the kingdom with you. You will be the king on the southern banks of the Bhagirat, and I on the north." The thought of that great insult never left the king's mind for a single instant. Being miserable, the king became thin. Would anyone else like to read? I don't mind.
So you notice this is a repetition of what we
Yes.
in more detail.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's Dina or Braja. Do you want to speak?
Well, let Dina go because Brudger's in the other room.
Okay, Dina, are you up for it? He's not replying.
You have to let people sometimes, handle their device for a minute.
Well, Dina knows about stuff. He knows he's on mute.
Yeah. Sometimes it takes me a moment to get back on page.
Well, why don't you read another one, Can't I? And I'll go and
just read one. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. All right. Cool.
Brudger
Cool.
wants to.
Yeah. 155. Sorry, it's a bit dark now. Can't do nothing about that. The Brahmana said,
Don't you have a light in your room?
"Yeah, but it's really red and really useless."
That's the only light you've got in your room, a red light.
I got a main light, but
What are
I
you
got
running down
I've
in
got a
your
faff about.
apartment? What
I've
are you
got to faff about with the curtains. I'm just going to carry on, yeah? Is that right? Sorry.
Okay. Just wondering about them red lights, like, you know what I mean?
Oh, I don't know. It's the story behind that, I suppose.
Just
Anyway.
pulling your leg, it's all right.
So, the Brahmana said, being miserable, King Drupada wandered in many places where Brahmanas lived, searching for bulls among Brahmanas who were perfect in all the rites. Footnote. As will become evident later, Drupada's wife accompanied him on his travels. He wished for the birth of a son. End of footnote. He wished for the birth of a son. Afflicted with grief and out of his mind, he always thought, I don't have excellent offspring. When his sons were born, he said, cursed are my relatives, who are without learning. He kept on sighing, thinking about taking revenge on Drona. O descendant of the Bharata lineage, but however much that best among kings tried, he could think of no means to overcome Drona's influence, humility, learning, and accomplishments through his Satriya powers. Wandering around, the king came to a holy hermitage of Brahmanas, located on the banks of the Ganga. There was no Brahmana there who was not rigid in his vows, nor one who was not a snataka. Footnote for that. The word snataka has many nuances. Here it means a Brahmana who has completed his first course of study. End of the footnote. Prishata's son found two Brahma rishis named Yaja and Upayaja there. They were greatly illustrious, rigid in their vows, self-controlled, and given to the study of the Samhitas.
What's happened?
What?
You muted your sound. I can't hear you. You did something. Now I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Or is it my... Ah, sorry, it's my speaker. Sorry. Carry on.
All right. So these two sages, Yaja and Upajaya, were there. They were greatly illustrious, rigid in their vows, self-controlled, and given to the study of the Samhitas. They were descended from Kashyapa's lineage, and both of those supreme Brahmanas were capable of rescuing him, that is Drupad, rescuing Drupad from his sorrows. Having controlled his mind, he served them in every possible way. Knowing the strength of the younger one to be greater, he worshipped Upayaja of rigid vows, giving him every object of desire, serving at his feet, and addressing him in pleasant words. Worshipping him in accordance with the prescribed rites, he told Upayaja, O Brahmana, O Upayaja, if you perform the sacrifice that will give me a son who can kill Drona, I will give you 10 crore cows. O best of the Brahmanas. Crore is an immense amount of things, which means 100 million. O best of the Brahmanas, I will give you whatever else in your mind and whatever else pleases you. There is no doubt about this. Having been thus addressed, the rishi refused. Thereupon, Drupada again began to worship him and serve him. O king, after 1 year had passed, and at the right time, Upayaja, best of the Brahmanas, spoke to the king in gentle words. When roaming in a forest, and at a waterfall, my elder brother picked up a fruit that had fallen on the ground, not knowing that it was impure and should be discarded. I was following him and witnessed my brother's impure act. He never has scruples about taking that which is unclean. He did not see the impurities that were on the fruit. One who does not see impurities in one's acts is not expected to see it in another.
Wow.
When he was in his preceptor's house and was studying the Samhitas, without any scruples, he used to eat the leftover food of others and repeatedly praise its qualities. Judging from this, my brother desires material fruit. O king, go to him, and he will perform your sacrifices. Hearing Upayaja's words and thinking about them, the king, who was well versed in the ways of Dharma, went to Yaja, though he had a low opinion of him. Worshipping the rishi who was deserving of worship, he told Yaja, O Lord, I will give you 80,000 cows. Please perform the sacrifice. I am inflamed with enmity for Drona. Pacify my heart. That best of men is learned in the Vedas and is skilled in the use of Brahmastra. Therefore, Drona defeated me in a quarrel that arose over our friendship. There is no Kshatriya on this earth, however great, who is superior to him, and that wise son of Bharadvaja has become the chief preceptor of the Kurus. Drona's net of arrows can kill every living creature. His bow is 6 cubits long and looks great and matchless. That great-minded and great archer, Bharadvaja's son, is undoubtedly capable of destroying the might of Kshatriyas with the might of a Brahmana. He has been created like another son of Jamadagni. Footnote: Jamadagni's son is Parashuram. He has been created like another son of Jamadagni to destroy the Kshatriyas. There is no man on earth who can withstand the terrible power of his weapons. Like a blazing fire that has been fed with sacrificial offerings, Drona's Brahmana powers consume every Kshatriya power in battle. Though his Brahmana powers are combined with Kshatriya powers, your Brahmana powers are superior to his. I am inferior because I only possess Kshatriya powers. Give me your Brahmana powers. I have now found you, whose Brahmana powers are superior to Drona's. O Yaja, perform the sacrifice so that I obtain a son who will be invincible and can kill Drona. I will give you 10 crore cows. Yaja agreed and began to think of what was required for the sacrifice. Upayaja wished for no rewards, but was called to assist his elder. Then Yaja promised Drona's destruction. The great ascetic Upayaja instructed the king of men on the sacrificial rites that would produce a son. O king, according to your desires, a son will be born to you, who will possess great valor, great energy, and great strength. King Drupad, wishing to obtain a son who would kill Bharadvaja's son, began to make the required preparations for bringing success to his effort. Yaja poured offerings into the sacrificial fire and instructed the queen, O Queen Prishati, come here. Time for uniting has arrived. The queen said, O Brahmana, my face is anointed with divine scents. O Yaja, wait a little. My body is not ready for the happy consummation that will give a son. Yaja said, offerings made sacred by Upayaja's incantations have already been prepared by Yaja. Why should the object of this sacrifice not be attained whether you come or wait? Saying this, Yaja poured the sanctified sacrificial offerings into the fire. Then a youth who resembled a god arose from the flames. His complexion was like the fire, and his form was terrible. He wore a crown on his head, and his body was encased in excellent armor. He had a sword in his hand and a bow and arrows, and he let out many loud roars. As soon as he was born, he ascended a supreme chariot and went forth. All the Panchalas were delighted and exclaimed, Blessed! From the sky issued the voice of an invisible and great being. This terrible prince has been born for Drona's destruction. He will increase the fame of the Panchalas and remove the king's grief. Then a young maiden arose from the center of the altar. She was blessed with good fortune and was known as Panchali. She was beautiful, and her waist was shaped like an altar. She was dark. Her eyes were like the petals of lotuses. Her hair was dark blue and curled. She was truly a goddess born in human form. The sweet fragrance of blue lotuses emanated from her body, a full 2 miles away.
Ah.
Her form and supreme beauty were such that she had no equal on earth. When the one with beautiful hips was born, the invisible voice said, supreme among women, this beauty of the dark complexion will bring about the destruction of the Kshatriyas. In time, this one with the beautiful waist will perform the objective of the gods. From her will arise terrible fear among the Kshatriyas. Hearing this, all the Panchalas roared like a pride of lions. The earth was unable to bear their great joy. On seeing these two, Vrishati wished to get them and came to Yaja and said, Let these two know now let these two know no one but me as their mother. Desiring to please the king, Yaja agreed. The Brahmanas, whose desires were entirely satisfied, gave the two names. Because of his great courage and because he has been born from luster, let this son of Drupad be called Drishtadumna. No, so Drishtadumna means courage and confidence. No, Drishtata means courage and confidence, and Dumya means splendor, glory, or luster. Because she is dark in complexion, let her be called Krishna. Thus, Drupada's twin children were born from the great sacrifice. Bharadvaja's powerful son, Drona, took the Panchala prince, Drishtadumna, to his own house and taught him the use of all weapons. Thus did the illustrious Drona ensure that his own deeds would become famous, because the immensely wise one knew that what was destined would come to be. Okay.
Wow. Baraja.
That's quite
Wow.
amazing, isn't it?
Wow, it just gets better.
156. Vaishampayana said, On hearing this, Kunti's sons seemed to be pierced with spears. All those Maharatas lost their mental peace. On seeing that her sons were confused and not in control of their senses, the truthful Kunti spoke to Yudhishthir. Kunti said, We have lived in this Brahmana's house for many nights, O Yudhishthir. We have lived in this beautiful city and have received alms. O chastiser of enemies, we have seen again and again all the beautiful forests and woods. Seeing them again will not give us any pleasure. O brave descendant of Kuru, alms will not be as easily available. O fortunate one, if you wish, let us go to Panchala. O son, we have not seen it before, and it must be beautiful. O destroyer of enemies, it has been heard that alms are easily obtained in Panchala, and that King Yagyasena himself is devoted to Brahmanas. It is my view that one should not live in the same place for a long time. O son, therefore, if you also think the same, let us go there. Yudhishthir said, Your views are for our welfare and we should act in that way. But I don't know if my younger brothers will wish to go. Then Kunti spoke to Bhimsen, Arjuna, and the twins about going there, and all of them agreed. O king, Kunti and her son saluted the Brahmana and left for the beautiful city of the great-hearted Drupada. 157. Vaishampayana said, When the great-hearted Pandavas lived in disguise, Vyasa, Satyavati's son, once came to see them. On seeing him come, those scorcher of enemies advanced to meet him. They prostrated themselves to welcome him and stood before him with folded hands. Returning their greetings and worshipped and pleased by Pritha's son, the sage spoke to them in affectionate words. After they were all seated, O scorcher of enemies, do you follow the path of Dharma and that laid down in sacred text? Do you worship the Brahmanas and those who deserve worship? The illustrious Rishi uttered many words about Dharma and Artha. Speaking about many subjects, he again said, A great-souled Rishi lived in a hermitage. He had a daughter who was slender of waist and wide of hips. Her eyebrows were beautiful and she had all the qualities. Because of her earlier deeds, she was unfortunate. Despite being beautiful and pure, that girl did not get a husband. With sorrow in her heart, she then began to perform austerities so as to obtain a husband. She satisfied Shankara with her severe austerities. Gratified, the illustrious lord spoke to the ascetic lady. O fortunate one, O beautiful one, ask for a boon and I shall give it to you. Desirous of ensuring her own welfare, she repeatedly told the supreme god, I want a husband with all the qualities. Then the eloquent Ishana, another name for Shiva, Shankara, told her, O fortunate one, you will have 5 husbands. Thus addressed, she told Shankara, give me only one husband. The god addressed her again in these excellent words. You have repeatedly asked me for a husband 5 times. Therefore, when you are reborn in another body, it shall be as I have just said. That daughter of divine form was born in Drupada's family as the unblemished Krishna Parshati, and is destined to be your wife. O mighty ones, go to the city of Panchala. There is no doubt that you will be happy in obtaining her as your wife. Having told the Pandavas this, the great fortunate grandfather, the great ascetic, bid his farewell to Kunti and Preta's son and left. Vishampayana said, placing their mother ahead of them, those bulls among men, the scorchers of enemies, set out over smooth roads towards the north, as they had been directed. They walked day and night and reached the pilgrimage of Soma Shravayana. Pandu's sons, those tigers among men, reached the Ganga. The immensely famous Dhananjaya walked in front, Arjuna, with a torch in his hand to show the way and protect them. In the beautiful waters of the Ganga, the jealous king of the Gandharvas was sporting with his wives. He heard the sound as they approached the river. That strong one was inflamed with rage at the sound. Seeing the Pandavas, the scorcher of enemies, and their mother, he drew his terrible bow and uttered these words. It is known that except for the first 80 instants, muhurtas, when terrible dusk colors and night is about to descend, the rest of the night is set aside for yakshas, gandharvas, and rakshasas, and others who can travel wherever at will. For the rest of the time, it is said that humans can travel at will. Therefore, if at those times men wander around out of greed, we and the Rakshasas attack and kill those stupid ones. Those who are learned in the Vedas disapprove of those men, even if they are kings with their armies, who come near the water in the night. Stay at a distance and do not come near me. Do you not know that I am bathing in the waters of the Bhagirathi? Know me to be the Gandharva named Anga Raparna. I rely on my own strength. I am proud and jealous, and I am Kubera's beloved friend. This is my beautiful forest on the banks of the Ganga, known as Angaraparna. I dwell here. No corpses, horned animals, gods, or humans dare to set foot here. How dare you come? Arjuna said, O evil-minded one, whether it is night or day or twilight, how can the ocean, the Himalayas, or the river be barred to anyone? We are endowed with strength. We do not care even if we disturb you at the wrong time. It is only weak men who worship you in this cruel hour. Issuing from the golden peaks of the Himalayas, this Ganga descends into the ocean in 7 streams. O Gandharva, this holy Ganga flowing through the celestial regions is known there as Alakananda. In the region of the ancestor, it is known as Vaitarani and cannot be crossed by those who commit sins. Krishna Dvipayana has said that this divine and pure river, which can take one to heaven, is accessible to everyone. How can you bar us access? That is not in accordance with eternal Dharma. Because of your words, why should we not touch as we wield the sacred waters of this Bhagirati, accessible to everyone? Vishampayana said, hearing these words, Angaraparna became very angry. He drew his bow and shot flaming arrows that were like extremely venomous snakes. With a torch in his hand, Pandava Dhananjaya warded off the arrows with his excellent shield. Arjuna said, O Gandharva, don't try to frighten those who are skilled in the use of weapons, because weapons unleashed at them disappear like froth. O Gandharva, I know that Gandharvas are superior to men, therefore I will fight you with divine weapons, not with the use of Maya. In ancient times, this Agneya missile was given by Brihaspati, Shatakratu's preceptor, Indra, for to Bharadvaj. From Bharadvaj, it went to Agnivesha, and from Agnivesha to my preceptor. Drona, supreme among Brahmanas, gave it to me. Having said this, the angry Pandava unleashed the blazing Agneya weapon at the Gandharva, and it instantly burned down his chariot. Knocked unconscious from the energy of the missile, the immensely powerful Gandharva fell face down, dislodged from his chariot. Dhananjaya seized him by the hair on his head, which was adorned with garlands, and dragged the one knocked unconscious from the missile towards his brothers. On seeing this, his wife, who was named Kumbinashi, sought refuge with Yudhishthir so that her husband might be saved. The Gandharva woman said, O great king, save me and set my husband free. O Lord, the Gandharvi Kumbinashi seeks your protection. Yudhishthira said, O destroyer of enemies, which hero will kill an enemy who has been defeated in battle, has lost his fame, and is now protected by a woman? Set him free. Arjuna said, O Gandharva, have your life. Go from here and do not grieve. Yudhishthira, king of the Kurus, has ordered safety for you today. The Gandharva said, I have been defeated by you, therefore I will give up my earlier name of Angaraparna. Among men, I can no longer show my pride in strength or in name. I wanted to fight with the powers of Maya of the Gandharvas, with someone who was at the peak of his youth. It is my good fortune that I encountered one with celestial weapons. My supreme and adorned chariot has been burnt by the Agneya weapon. I was earlier called Chitrarata, one with an adorned chariot, and have now became Dagdarata, one whose chariot has been burnt. I spoke to you about the knowledge that I heard earlier attained through austerities. Today, I will give it to the great souled one who has granted me life. He who saves the life of a vanquished enemy who seeks sanctuary deserves good fortune. This knowledge is called chakshushi. Chakshu means eye. That is the reason the knowledge is called chakshushi. It was given by Manu to Soma, and Soma gave him to Vishwavasu. Vishwavasu gave it to me. When the preceptor gives the knowledge to a coward, it is destroyed. I have spoken to you about its origin and transmission. Now learn from me its power. Whatever you wish to see through your eyes in all the three worlds will be seen by you, exactly as you wish. One can acquire this knowledge by standing on one leg for 6 months. I have given word that I will myself bestow this knowledge on you. O king, it is because of this knowledge that we are superior to men, because we have the power of seeing everything. We are the equals of the gods. O best of men, I wish to give each of you 5 brothers separately 100 horses from the land of the Gandharvas. They are divinely scented and possess the speed of the mind. They are used to transport the gods and the Gandharvas. However tired they are, they never lose their speed. In ancient times, the great Indra created the Vajra to kill Vritra, but it shattered into 1,000 pieces when flung on Vritra's head. Since then, the gods divided the Vajra pieces among themselves and worship them. Whatever is known as wealth in this world is but a piece of that Vajra. The hands of Brahmanas are the Vajra. The chariot of the Kshatriyas are the Vajra. The alms of the Vaishyas are the Vajra. The servitude of the Shudras is the Vajra. The horses of the Kshatriyas are the Vajra, and it is said that they should never be killed. The horses can draw chariots The horses that draw chariots are the offspring of Vadava. The word Vadava means a mare. One who drives horses is called a Sutta. These horses can assume any color at will, can assume any speed at will, and can go anywhere at will. These horses from the Gandharva region will always fulfill any desire. Arjuna said, O Gandharva, I have no desire to accept the knowledge or the riches if you are giving them to me out of satisfaction of my having saved your life. The Gandharva said, an encounter with a great person is always a matter of satisfaction. In addition to that, you have given me my life. Being pleased with you, I am giving you the knowledge. O bull among the Bharata lineage, O Bibhatsu, in return, to make it equal, I shall take from you the supreme Agneya weapon, so that our friendship is eternal. Arjuna said, O Gandharva, I shall accept your horses in return for my weapon. Let our friendship be eternal. O friend, tell me how we can be free from the danger from your race. 159. Arjuna said, O Gandharva, we are the chastisers of enemies. We are learned in the Vedas. We are all virtuous. Yet, why did you abuse us when we were traveling in the night? The Gandharva said, O son of Pandu, you do not keep fire burning in the household. You do not make sacrificial offerings. You do not have brahmanas walking ahead of you. That is the reason you were abused by me. The yakshas, the rakshasas, the gandharvas, the pisachas, the uragas, and men speak in detail about the prosperity of the Kuru dynasty. O brave one, I have heard Narada and other Devarishis speak of the qualities and wisdom of your ancestors. When I myself roamed this rich earth that has this ocean as a garment, I saw the influence of your dynasty. O Arjuna, I personally know your preceptor in knowledge of the Vedas and the science of weapons, Bharadvaja's famous son. He is revered in the three worlds, O Partha, O tiger among the Kurus. I also know Dharma, Vayu, Shakra, the Ashvins, and Pandu, the six who extended this lineage. These best of gods and men are your ancestors. I know that all your brothers are divine-minded, great-souled, supreme among those who wield arms, excellent in observance of vows, supreme in mind and intelligence, and perfect in character. O Partha, nevertheless I abused you. O descendant of the Kuru lineage, no man who has the strength of his arms can patiently tolerate abuse before his wife's eyes. O son of Kunti, especially at night our strength increases. Since I was with my wife, I was filled with anger. O extender of Tapati's lineage, I was defeated by you in battle. Hear from me the reason why I suffered. O Partha, Brahmacharya is the supreme dharma, and you are established in that. That is the reason you defeated me in the battle. O chastiser of enemies, if any kshatriya, driven by desire, wishes to fight with us in the night, he can never escape alive. O descendant of Tapati's lineage. However, a king, driven by desire, can vanquish all the wanderers of the night in battle if he is led by a priest. O descendant of Tapati's lineage, therefore, men should always employ priests who are learned and self-controlled in all acts that are desired. He who is learned in the six Vedangas and is always pure, truthful, devoted to Dharma, and self-controlled is fit to be a priest for kings. A king who has a priest who is learned in the precepts of Dharma, eloquent, well-behaved, and pure ahead of him is always victorious and is assured of heaven afterwards. A king must always choose a priest who has all the qualities, who can protect what he possesses and acquire that which he does not. A king should always be guided by his priest to acquire the entire earth, from Mount Meru to where the ocean is the garment. O descendant of Tapati's lineage, a king who is without a Brahmana can never acquire any lands through his bravery or high birth alone. O extender of the Kuru lineage, therefore know that kingdoms with Brahmanas at their head can be sustained eternally. Should I keep on going?
Yeah, who's Tapati?
Yeah, who's Tapati?
So we're going to go to read up to 161.
Okay,
And then Madan can take over again.
160.
And let's
Arjuna said, "You have addressed me as a descendant of Tapati. Therefore, I wish to know what that precisely means. O Blessed One, we are the sons of Kunti and are known as Konteya. Who is Tapati, and why are we called Tapatya? I wish to know." Vaishampayana said, having been thus addressed by Kunti's son, Dhananjaya, the Gandharva recounted the story of that is famous in the three worlds. The Gandharva said, "O Partha, O chief among those who follow Dharma, I will tell you this virtuous and wonderful story exactly as it happened. Listen attentively to what I have to say, and you will understand the reason why I have called you Tapatya. He who pervades the entire firmament with his energy had a daughter named Tapati who was equal to him. Tapati was born to Vivashvat, the sun, and Savitri, and was famous in the three worlds because of her austerities. After Savitri, sorry. There was no one equal to her in beauty among the gods, the Asuras, the Yakshas, the Rakshasas, the Apsaras, and the Gandharvas. She was symmetrical in form and unblemished in features. She had large and black eyes. She was dressed in beautiful garments. She was pure in conduct. O descendant of the Bharata lineage, on seeing her, Vivashvat thought that no one in the three worlds possessed beauty, conduct, learning, and qualities equal to her, so as to be her husband. On seeing that his daughter had grown and attained the age of marriage, he had no peace of mind, thinking about whom to give her to. O Konteya, the mighty king Samvarana, the son of Riksha, and a bull among the Kurus, always used to worship the sun with offerings and garlands, observing fasts and rituals, and practicing various austerities. Puru's descendants worshipped Anshuman. That's the son of. When he arose, with devotion, obedience, selflessness, and purity. On seeing that Samvarana was learned in the path of Dharma and was unparalleled on earth for his handsomeness, Surya decided that he was the best husband for Tapati. O descendant of the Kuru lineage, Surya desired to give his daughter to that supreme king, whose lineage was famous. Just as the blazing rays of the sun suffused the sky with radiance, King Samvarana filled the earth with his splendor. O Partha, just as those who know the Brahman worship the rising sun, all subjects other than Brahmanas worshipped Samvarana. The fortunate king surpassed the moon in benevolence towards those who wished him well, and the sun in scorching those who wished him ill. O descendant of the Kuru lineage, Tapan himself, the sun, decided that Tapati should be given to a king who had such great virtue and qualities. O Partha, it is told that once the king, blessed with such great good fortune and immensely famous on earth, went out to hunt in the woods on the slopes of a mountain. O son of Kunti, when he was hunting, his unequaled horse, overcome with hunger and thirst, died on that mountain. O Partha, abandoning the dead horse, the king walked on that mountain on foot and saw a lady who had large eyes and was unrivaled in the worlds in beauty. That scorcher of enemies, a tiger among kings, was alone. That lady was also alone. He stood motionless and stared at her with an unwavering gaze. From her beauty, the king thought that she might be the goddess Shri, Lakshmi. He again thought that her beauty was the manifestation of the sun's ray on earth. The black eyed lady stood on the mountain slope, with its trees and creepers, like a statue of gold. Having seen her, the king became contemptuous of all other beings and considered that his eyes had now accomplished their purpose. The king thought that nothing that he had seen from the date of his birth could rival her beauty. He thought that the Creator had created the beauty of his large-eyed lady after churning the worlds of gods, asuras,
Wow.
and men. The king's heart and mind were tied up in the news of her perfection. Deprived of his senses, he was rooted to the spot. Thus, King Sambarana then decided that the lady's richness of beauty was unmatched in the three worlds. Talk about love at first sight. As soon as he had seen that fortunate one, the king of noble lineage was pierced by the arrows of the god of love and began to worry. Burning with the fierce fire of desire, he spoke to the illustrious lady, who was an adult, but was still innocent. O lady with sighs like that of a plantain tree, who are you? Who do you belong to? Why have you come here? O lady with a beautiful smile, why are you wandering alone in this lonely forest? You are unblemished in every limb and adorned in every ornament. You are like a coveted ornament to those ornaments themselves. You don't seem to be a goddess or an asuri or a yakshi or a rakshashi or a nagini or a gandharvi or a human. O supreme among beautiful ones, none of the beautiful women I have seen or heard of can match you. Thus, struck by desire, did the ruler of the earth then speak to her in the lonely forest. But she did not utter a word in reply. When the king kept asking, the large-eyed lady vanished like a flash of lightning. Like one who had lost his senses, the king wandered around in the forest looking for the lady with eyes like a lotus. Having failed to find her, that best of the Kurun lineage lamented a lot and for a long time remained motionless in grief. Wow.
Okay, madame.
That's great.
There's
That's
a lot of these Kshatriyas going off on kind of lustful hunting things, and then suddenly these beautiful women appear, and
yeah.
they all go off on these dramas. It seems to be a recurring theme, doesn't it?
It's also, don't you think it's just interesting how the preamble was given when the Gandharva Chitraratha kept calling Arjuna Tapatya, or descendant of Tapati. And Arjuna had never heard that
Someone's put
before.
the kettle on without the mute.
Well, it's here, so I'll
Okay.
wait till the kettle stop. But in the
We'll plug
meantime,
it in the other room. You know that.
Yeah, but what was that about Arjuna? He didn't know. He didn't know
he
about any of
didn't
this, right?
know who this Tapati was, although the
Mm.
Gandhara kept calling him descendant of Tapatya.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's what raised the inquiry that Arjuna said, well, who is Tapati? So now we're getting to know who Tapati is.
Mm.
So she's disappeared after stealing the heart of the king. 161. The Gandharva said, when she disappeared, the king, the one who caused the downfall of enemy armies, was struck by desire and fell down on the ground. On his falling down on the ground, the one with the beautiful smile and swelling and rounded hips appeared once again before the king. In a gentle voice, the fortunate beauty then spoke to the king, the extender of the Kuru lineage, who had lost his senses because of desire. O tiger among kings, O fortunate one, O scorcher of enemies, you are known in the world. You should not be seen in loss of your senses. Arise, arise. Having heard these sweet words, the king looked up and saw standing before him the lady with the wide hips. The ruler of men then addressed the black-eyed one in these words, his heart burning with the fire of desire and his words weak with emotion. Oh, black-eyed lady, oh, fortunate one, I am burning with desire. O lady with the large eyes, I am seeking you. Accept me in return, because my life is ebbing away because of you. O you whose complexion is like the inside of a lotus. Love's sharp arrows never stop piercing me. O fortunate one, the god of love has bitten me like a large snake. O one with the unblemished face, O one with the tapering thighs, O one with a voice like the song of the kinnaras, my life is in your hands. O one with unblemished and beautiful limbs, O one with a face like a lotus or the moon, O bashful one. You see, the interesting in the names there, he said all that, and then you can imagine she's put on a bashful expression, and now he's called her, oh, bashful one. I shall certainly not be able to live without you. O lady with the large eyes, O black-eyed one, you should not forsake me. O beautiful one, you must save me with your affection. O beautiful and timid one. Again, you could imagine her facial expression changes. O beautiful and timid one, O one with thighs like a plantain tree, marry me according to the Gandharva rites, because among all forms of marriage, the Gandharva is said to be the best. That means a love marriage.
Sorry, which page are we on? Sorry, I've just lost the reading place.
414, just the last paragraph of 61.
Okay.
Tapati said, O king, I am not in control of myself. I am a daughter under a father's superintendence. If you really seek pleasure from me, go and ask my father for me. O ruler of men, you say that I have robbed you of your life, but know that at the first sight you have also robbed me of my life. O best of kings, I am not the mistress of my own body, therefore I cannot come to you. Women are always dependent. But is there any woman in the three worlds who will not desire a husband like you, who has a noble lineage and is always benevolent to his dependents? Therefore, since the time is right, ask for me from my father Aditya, the sun, with reverence, austerities, and rituals. O destroyer of enemies, O king, if he desires to give me to you, I shall always be under your superintendence. O bull among the Kshatriyas, I am Tapati, Savitri's youngest sister. I am the daughter of Savitar, the sun, who is a torch to the worlds. 162. The Gandharva said, having said this, the unblemished one swiftly rose up into the sky. The king once more fell down on the ground, searching for that supreme among kings. His minister and attendants found him in that state in a great forest, prone on the ground, like Shakra's flag when the season is right. On seeing the great archer prone on the ground and without a horse, the minister was burnt as if by fire. Drawing quickly near, the minister raised the king, who was lying senseless on the ground in the affliction of desire, affectionately and reverently, just as a father raises a fallen son. This minister was old in age, wisdom, fame, and deeds. When he had raised him and senses were recovered, the minister addressed him in sweet and benevolent words. O tiger among men, do not be frightened. O unblemished one, you will be blessed. The minister thought that the king, the destroyer of hostile armies in battle, had been lying down on the ground because he had been overcome with hunger, thirst, and exhaustion. He sprinkled cold water, fragrant with the scent of lotuses, on the king's head, but without touching the crown. Thereupon the powerful king regained his consciousness. He then sent away all his attendants except the minister. When that large retinue had gone away on the king's instructions, the king again sat down on that mountain plain. Then on that great mountain the king purified himself and joined his palms. He raised his arms up and worshipped the sun. King Sambarana, destroyer of enemies, also mentally thought of his priest Vashishta, supreme among rishis. Without a break, the ruler of men remained there for days and nights. Then, on the 12th day, the Brahmarshi came to him, Vashishta. Through his power of austerities, the great Rishi, who was self-controlled, knew that, as decreed by destiny, the king's heart had been stolen by Tapati. Then the best of sages, who was rigid in his vows, wished to bring good fortune to the virtuous king, and assured him. As the ruler of men watched, the illustrious Rishi ascended to the sky to meet the sun, as radiant himself as that blazing one. With his palms joined, the Brahmana joyfully introduced himself to the one with 1,000 rays and said, "I am Vashishta." Then the immensely radiant Vivaswat said to the best of sages, "O Maharishi, you are welcome. Tell me what you desire." 163. Vashishta said, "O Vibhavasu, on Samvarana's behalf, I have come to ask you for your daughter Tapati, Savitri's younger sister. He is a mighty king with great deeds. He is great-souled and is well versed in Dharma and Artha. O traveller in the sky, Samvarana is a fit husband for your daughter." The Gandharva said, hearing these words, Savita, the sun, decided on giving her. Divakar, the sun, saluted the Brahmin and said, "O sage, Samvarana is the best among kings, and you are the best among rishis. Tapati is the best of women. Why give her somewhere else?" Thereupon Tapana, and all these different names of the sun, himself gave the unblemished and perfect Tapati to the great-souled Vashishta for Samvarana's sake. The Maharishi accepted the lady Tapati, and taking his leave, Vashishta returned to where the bull among the Kurus and the one with the famous deeds was seated. The king was possessed by love, and his heart was fixed on her. He became extremely glad when he saw that Vashishta was leading the divine maiden Tapati, the one with the beautiful smile, towards him. The illustrious Rishi, Vashishta, pure of spirit, came to the king when he had completed the 12th night of his vows. Thus Samvarana obtained his wife through austerities and worship of the Lord Gopati, another name for the sun. What's he got in the footnote? 65. Gopati means Lord of cows. Actually, it doesn't mean that. He's made a mistake there. Gopati, Go, in this context means rays, and the Lord of rays is called Gopati, and that's another name of the sun.
Make a note and send to publishers.
Yes. And Vashishta's energy. That bull among men accepted Tapati's hand on that best of mountains, frequented by gods and Gandharvas in accordance with the prescribed rituals. With Vashishta's permission, the Rajarshi desired to sport with his wife on that mountain. He then instructed his minister to rule over his city, kingdom, mounts and armies. Bidding farewell to the king, Vashishta left. The king sported on that mountain like a god. The king pleasured with his wife in the groves and streams of that mountain for 12 years. O descendant of the Bharata lineage, for those 12 years, the one with 1,000 rays, the sun, did not
Eyes.
Yeah, eyes. Indra, yes, sorry. That's Indra. did not pour any rain in the king's city and kingdom. Because of hunger and starvation, the men became like dead bodies. The city looked like a city of the king of the dead, populated by dead people. Then, seeing that condition, the illustrious Rishi Vashishta, learned in Dharma, went to the supreme among kings. O king, he brought back the tiger-like king who had been away from his city for 12 years, together with Tapati. When that tiger among kings entered the city again, the slayer of demons, Indra, poured down rain as before. Thus, enervated by that foremost among kings, who had himself enervated his soul, the city and the kingdom became extremely happy. With his wife Tapati, the king performed sacrifices for 12 years, like Shakra, Indra, lord of the Maruts. O Partha, this is the story of the greatly fortunate Tapati of ancient times. She was the daughter of Vivaswat, and it is after her that you are named Tapatya. O Arjuna, O greatest among those who scorch. On Tapati, King Samvarana had a son named Kuru. Born in that lineage of Tapati, you are known as Tapatya. 164. Vaishampayana said, hearing the Gandharva's words, the bull of the Bharata lineage, Arjuna, shone with joy like the full moon. His curiosity was excited by what he had heard about Vashishta's ascetic powers. The best of the Kurus, the great archer, spoke to the Gandharva. I wish to hear the story of the Rishi whom you have referred to as Vashishta. Tell me in detail. O Lord of the Gandharvas, tell me who this illustrious Rishi, the priest of our ancestors, was. The Gandharva said, desire and anger, which even the gods find difficult to conquer, were overcome through his austerities and washed his feet. Though the supreme sage's wrath was stirred at Vishwamitra's evil deed, he was noble enough not to annihilate the Kushikas. That was when Vishwamitra killed his sons. Though he mourned the death of his sons, he had the power to do so, he did not perform any terrible deed to destroy Vishwamitra. Like the great ocean does not cross its shoreline, he did not transgress Yama's law by bringing his sons back from the land of the dead. Obtaining this great-souled and self-controlled supreme Rishi Vashishta as their priest, Ikshvaku and other kings conquered the entire earth. O descendant of the Kuru lineage, these kings performed many sacrifices. O best of the Pandavas, this Brahmarishi was the priest for those excellent kings like Brihaspati was for the gods. Therefore, look for a Brahmana in whose heart Dharma is supreme, who is learned in the Vedas and in Dharma, and who has all the qualities, and appoint him as your priest. O Partha, a Kshatriya of noble birth who wishes to conquer the earth must first appoint a priest to be in front so that the kingdom flourishes. A king who wishes to conquer the earth must have a Brahmin before him. Therefore, let a Brahmana who has all the qualities be your priest. 165. Then I'll let someone have a go after that. Arjuna said, how did the hostility between Vashishta and Vishwamitra, both of whom lived in divine hermitages, arise? Tell us in detail. The Gandharva said, O Partha, Vashishta's account is known as a Purana in all the worlds. Listen to me as I recount it in its entirety. O bull of the Bharata lineage, there was a great king in Kanyakubja. He was known in the world as Gadi, and he was devoted to true Dharma. His virtuous son, a conqueror of enemies, was known by the name of Vishwamitra, and he had many armies and mounts. With his ministers he used to wander in deep forests and beautiful wildernesses to hunt deer and boar. Once, tired and exhausted from the pursuit of a deer, that best of men came to Vashishta's hermitage. On seeing him come, the fortunate and illustrious Rishi Vashishta offered homage to Vishwamitra, the best of men. O descendant of the Bharata lineage, he welcomed him and offered him water to wash his feet and face, and gave him offerings of forest fare. The great-souled Vashishta, possessed of Kamadhenu, when she was asked to give, she produced whatever was desired. That's the cow of plenty.
She.
Huh?
You said he.
Sorry, yeah. That's the cow of plenty, Kamadhenu. O Arjuna, she yielded products of villages and forests, herbs, milk, juices, with 6 different flavors that tasted like ambrosia itself, and different types of food that could be chewed, drunk, eaten, licked, or sucked, all tasting like ambrosia. The king was honored with everything that he desired in abundant measure. He, his ministers, and his entourage were greatly satisfied. With great surprise, he saw Vashishta's beautiful and unblemished cow named Nandini, 6 measures long, 3 measures wide, and 5 measures round, with beautiful flanks and thighs, with eyes prominent like those of frogs, with a beautiful carriage, large udders, beautiful tail, uplifted and straight ears, handsome horns, and a well-developed head and neck. O king, Gadi's son was gratified with what he saw and saluted the cow. The king then spoke to the rishi. O Brahmana, O great sage, give me Nandini in exchange for my kingdom or for 10,000 cows. Enjoy the kingdom. Vashishta said, O unblemished king, I keep this milk-yielding cow for the sake of the gods, ancestors, guests, and sacrificial offerings. Nandini cannot be given away, even in exchange for your kingdom. Vishwamitra said, I am a Kshatriya, and you are only a Brahmana devoted to studies and austerities. How can there be strength in Brahmanas who are peaceful and control themselves? If you don't give me what I want in exchange for 10,000 cows, I will not give up my own dharma. I will take the cow away by force. Vashishta said, You are a powerful king with an army with you. You are a Kshatriya with valor in your arms. Do what you wish quickly and without thinking over it. O Partha, thus addressed, Vishwamitra seized the cow Nandini, as translucent as a swan or the moon. He dragged her here and there and beat her with a stick.
Ooh.
Blessed Nandini bellowed piteously and came to Vashishta. O Partha, she stood near the illustrious sage and raised her head up at him. Though she had been beaten a lot, she did not leave the hermitage. Vashishta said, O fortunate Nandini, I hear your repeated cries, but you are being taken away by force. What can a forgiving Brahmana do? O bull among the Bharata lineage, frightened by the force of Vishwamitra's army and frightened by Vishwamitra himself, she came closer to Vashishta. Nandini said, O illustrious one, why do you overlook it when I am beaten by the sticks and lashes of Vishwamitra's fearful army? Why do you orphan me when I am crying? O Partha, the great sage did not lose his patience, nor did he deviate from his rigid vows. On hearing her cries of suffering, Vashishta said, A Kshatriya's strength is his energy, a Brahman's strength is his forbearance. I cannot give up forbearance. If you wish, go. Nandini said, O illustrious one, O Brahmana, are you forsaking me in this way? If you do not forsake me, I cannot be taken away by force. Vashishta said, O blessed one, I am not forsaking you. Stay if you can. Tethered with a strong rope, your calf is now being taken away by force. Hearing him say, "Stay!" Vashishta's cow raised up her head and neck and became fearful to look at. Eyes red with anger and with thunderous bellows, she attacked Vishwamitra's army from all sides. Stung with their sticks and lashes and being dragged here and there, her anger increased and her eyes became red with rage. A shower of burning embers was unleashed from her tail. She blazed with anger like the midday sun. She created an army of Pallavas from her tail, an army of Sabaras and Shakas from her dung, and an army of Yavanas from her urine. She swooned with anger. From her froth she produced Pundas, Kiratas, Dramidas, Singhalas, Barbaras, Daradas, and Mlechas. When she had produced these many armies of Mlechas, clad in different types of armor and armed with different types of weapons, before Vishwamitra's own eyes, she scattered with her ferocious troops his large army. Every single one of his soldiers was surrounded by 5 or 7 of hers, and with a shower of weapons was dispersed and fled in all directions in panic. O bull among the Bharata lineage, though greatly enraged, not a single one of Vishwamitra's soldiers was separated from his life by a single one of Vashishta's. Vishwamitra's army was driven 3 yojanas away, and though it cried out in panic, there was no savior to be found. On seeing this amazing sight born out of a Brahmin's powers, Vishwamitra was disgusted with his Kshatriya powers and said, "A curse on my Kshatriya powers. The true power is that of a Brahmin. In judging weakness and strength, I see that true strength arises from the power of austerities." He gave up his prosperous kingdom and his radiant regal fortune. Turning his back on all pleasures, he decided to devote himself to austerities. Through his power of austerities, he became successful and filled the worlds with his radiance. Through all his radiant energy, he became a Brahmana, and Kushik's son eventually drank soma juice with Indra himself.
Well, all's well that ends well then, isn't it? Right. End up with Indra having a bit of a, gin wag.
This same story